What's going on, guys? It is Jake here representing the Fighting Now, and welcome to a very special interview. Today, I am very excited about this interview because we have the one, the only Miss Hilarie Rose is going to be joining me. Now, in case you guys don't know who she is, she's an incredible fighter, someone who I could say is the most respected fighter out there, and who has been involved with the combat sports for quite some time. So, yet, without further ado, help me please welcome inside the StreamYard studios, Miss Hilarie Rose.
What's up, everybody? How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you today.
It's been a very exciting. I've been waiting for this for quite some time. You've been very busy as of late, haven't you?
Trying to stay as busy as I can be.
Well, the last time we got a chance to tell you was your last fight back in February. LFA, I think it was LFA. Try not to butcher it. 125, but
Yep.
yet. So, I mean, what have you been doing since then?
So, I was uninjured in that fight. So, like, I had a pretty good fight. Head movement was good. I wasn't beat up at all. So, I got right back to training. I'm an instructor at a gym and I teach kids. So, I was right back to work for regular work and then just right back to work, fine tuning some of the things that I, lacked in that fight. And then, it really hasn't been that long. So I was just in Myrtle Beach. I had a bunch of my own teammates competing down at the IKF Classic. So I was there and we were kind of focusing a lot on helping them get ready after my fight. So I stayed busy, training my own kind of training, but I was kind of helping them get ready also. So, and they did really well. So it was a good weekend away. And, I'm sure they'll be right back to work too.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I actually got a chance to see you watch one of the fights. I think it was Ashley Barrett. You got
Yeah.
a chance to be in the corner of. I heard you, trying to be able to make the right calls for her, and what a successful fight that she had. Shout out to Ashley Barrett
Yeah.
for such an amazing fight. And talk about that. Before we get started, do you ever try your best, to help out your teammates, especially when it comes to these events?
Yeah, for sure. I have really, really great coaches and, I want to be a coach one day. And, I am a coach to some of the kids that are coming up, or I'm just considered a coach to some of them. When I'm done fighting, I want to make sure that it's like something that I'm really focused on, but obviously fighting and coaching, they can get in the way of each other, but I have a really, really great team. And obviously Ashley, she fights at 115. She's at my weight class. So, we're really good for each other. She's really young. She's 21 and she just has something that so many other people lack. Just like mentally, she can mentally put everything aside and just go out there and fight. I envy her of it. Like she flips the switch and it's like nothing I've ever seen before. And, I very much look up to her, even though she's younger than me and I've been training for many, many more years than her. She has everything that it takes to go where she wants to go. And I'm lucky to have her as a teammate and as a friend and, someone to just confide in as, another female who's in this sport. So, I'm lucky to her. So shout out to her. I love her a lot.
And not only that, but yeah, she's also been a part of the page. So yeah, once like she said, shout out to Ashley Barrett. You're doing incredible things. Keep on going with what you're doing, and
Yeah.
congratulations for this past weekend. So let's go ahead and get things started because I've been waiting for quite some time. And by the way, Mom's Basement MMA messaged me and they told me to tell you that they said, hey, that you're
Hey,
awesome.
awesome. What's up?
Always appreciate Mom's Basement MMA, Joe, for always,
Yeah, he's the best. He's so good. He always reaches out to me when I have fights, and he always is like, "I'd really like to see you fight this person." I'm like, "Me too." So he's great, and I always like chatting it up with him too.
Now you also had an interview with him as well, correct?
Yeah, I did. I've had 2 interviews with him, I believe. Maybe 2. Yeah, 2.
Yep. But guys can check out both of those interviews on their YouTube channel, Mom's Basement MMA, and follow them on Instagram at Moms_Basement MMA. So let's go ahead and get things started. So yeah, we all have something that inspires us to be able to start with what we're doing,
Yeah.
whether it's media, whether it's fighting, whatever it may be. So what inspired you to start fighting?
So I started training when I was like 14 years old. So I was in high school and I took kind of like a break from sports. And I wasn't like a punk, but I kind of like copped an attitude. I was at that like 14-year-old like stage in my life where, I was yelling at my mom and like didn't want to listen to anything she did. So I always was an athlete. So my mom's like, we got to get you into something to like, burn some of this anger and like, energy. So I went to the gym that I'm at now, USMMA. Shout out to them. I've been training under Tom Hafers and Matt Martin for 15 years now. So I'm very dedicated to them and they give so much of themselves to me. I wouldn't I wouldn't suggest, like, not suggest, but I wouldn't go train at any other gym because they just know me so well and they know the person I am. So I got started with Muay Thai, and then I did about 4 or 5 years of Muay Thai, and then I hopped into Jiu-Jitsu and kind of became obsessed with Jiu-Jitsu at like 19. So I didn't do Jiu-Jitsu right away, hopped in at like 19, and then at 22, I, wanted to fight. So my coaches always, said, you're very skilled, and if this is something you want to do, you can. So I had my first fight, and then I was hooked. And now here I am.
Very, very incredible fighter to say the least. And yet, talking about US MMA, and yet I got a chance to ask you about them. So yet, once when you go to the gym, you never know what to expect. Either they can be your family, or they can pretty much be something different.
Yeah.
But it seems like to you they've been your family as of late. So my question to you is how much has US MMA meant to you, especially since they helped you out with your career?
They mean everything to me. Like, I have family, but I obviously have like regular family, but I see them more than I see my own family. You know, I they are amazing people, and all they want to do is see you succeed, and they don't want to gain anything from you. Like, I think a lot of coaches, not even coaches, but people, link to you and kind of want to gain something from you when you're in a sport, or you're, athletic, or you have anything going on, you're in a band, it doesn't matter. People want to kind of cling to you, and they're not those type of people. They genuinely want to see you succeed and help you get to where you want to be in your life. And that's why I've been there for so long. And I've never thought about going anywhere else, because they're just so dedicated to not only my career, but helping me build myself as a fighter and as a coach. And, I'm so grateful for them. I'm sure they understand, but they don't understand.
Well, I got a chance to follow them and check out everything that they're doing. So real quick, shout out to US MMA,
Yeah.
because they're training incredible and amazing fighters just like yourself. And it seems like that they've helped you out, especially when it comes to the training and coaching side. And we talked about how not only are you a fighter, but you also want to train these fighters as well. Do you think that the knowledge that you learn from your coaches kind of helps you in what you're trying to do today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and when you teach and you get the opportunity to coach, it helps you improve as a fighter altogether, because you're repeating the things that you have to do on your own all the time. So when I absorb something, and I absorb it, and then I get to go and teach it and share it, I'm just almost reteaching myself it over and over again. It's like that 10,000 reps. It's when you're teaching it, you're explaining it, and you have to think about it in a different way instead of just like showing up and going to class. You have to kind of get other people to understand how you want something to sound, or feel. So coaching has been huge for me. It's helped me help other people, I think. And I'm only getting better every day. So just like a fighter, you get better as a coach too. So I'm lucky to get that opportunity to kind of do both.
And not only that, but it seems like it's kind of like trying to give someone advice. It's like trying to help someone out, whether if it's before a fight or something in general. It's like you're pretty much preaching them advice that could potentially help you out as well. You ever just
No
think about
doubt.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime I can help someone else out, it makes me feel good too. And they, even though some of them aren't as like they're not at the level I'm at, there's sometimes things that they teach me, without even knowing. Maybe they heard something a little bit differently that I didn't hear it. And when we talk to each other, we're able to gain something from each other every time. It's not just like this person's a white belt and I'm a brown belt, so they have nothing to give me. They always have something to give and always something to gain. Even
Yeah.
me teaching them, I'm gaining from that. So I'm lucky with the teammates and the people that I'm surrounded by, because there's no egos. That's the biggest thing I like about USMMA is we don't have egos. There's no egos in the room. And if there's someone with an ego, they usually don't stay very long. So it's just the way it goes. And we have such a great group of people who just want to genuinely learn from each other and, help each other out. It's not, I want to be better than you want to be better than me, this and that. So it's really cool.
So pretty much just like once when people start walking through the doors, if you're feeling ego, leave it out. Just leave it out the door. Pretty much.
They end up not staying themselves. They come to class and they'll take class, and usually they either don't fit in, or it just it they don't end up staying long, even if they enjoy classes. Like, I have fantastic coaches and they can teach really well, but sometimes when people have an ego, they may hurt somebody, or somebody may like hurt them, not even intentionally, but because they're choosing to go too hard, or their pace isn't like at a pace they should be going at. So you know how it is.
Well, absolutely. And you're talking about that, you mentioned you get a chance to train kids. You're pretty much trying to train the younger generation. How much does it mean to you for someone who has been involved with the sport for quite some time to be able to train someone, who is not even get a chance to be able to start yet, but potentially, hopefully, maybe in the long run?
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome because kids are sponges. Like you show them something and they absorb it like it's nothing and they're Gumby. So like they're not afraid to like get taken down or get arm locked. Like you have to like force them to tap. They're like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I'm like, I don't care if it doesn't hurt. Like you're gonna hurt your arm. You're just a child. And it's cool because I haven't had any kids compete since like COVID time, like since it's been like COVID. But before that, I had tons of kids competing. And when you watch them do what you've taught them like live, it's like nothing else. It's awesome because they're just quick and fast and they listen. Like kids listen when they're competing. Like they're maybe not in class. You're like, what the heck? Listen to me. Like I want you to get this. But when they're in competition, it's weird. It's crazy how kids have no fear. It's I wish I was like a kid.
I wish we all could go back to our kid days where
Yeah.
we can have that no fear or even like anxiety or anything like
Yeah.
that. I mean, but shout out to everyone who has been being trained under you. And I know you're going to train these kids incredible and turn them into incredible fighters like you are right now.
Yeah.
So, so pretty much we all have. So pretty much we have something that inspires us or encourages us to get out of bed and go train, do whatever it is. And so, do you have anything that inspires you to keep going?
Um, so I'm always inspired by other people, but lately I've just kind of been trying to be inspired by myself, like by who I am and like a lot I think I forget how hard I work and how this may sound ridiculous and people might listen and be like this is kind of dumb, but like I don't give myself enough credit. Like I don't. And I work really, really hard. And I think that, I lose some fights, I win some fights. And it's frustrating to be like 5-4 and know that I'm really good and my record doesn't reflect the fighter that I am. So I think that I've need to kind of be a little more selfish and be more inspired by myself and how hard I work. And I think it's going to kind of help make some mind switches for me because, you know, I'm the only one who can get myself up and out of bed every day. Like, even if someone else motivates me and drives me to want to do that, like, I'm still the only person who can do that. I have to be the one to get up early and show up to practice on time and eat the right food and, do all the correct things in order to be successful or the success that I want in the long run. So, I mean, lately I've just been trying to be inspired by my own person, like in who I am and how far I've come and all the things that I still have the opportunity to do. So I'm trying to just be positive all the time.
That's always been the key, especially when it comes to everyday life. And I can't stress enough. I think you've seen it every time. Is that I make sure that there's always positive vibes every single day. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're having rough days or if you're having bad days, because one thing that I love that you're doing is you're not really pushing hard on yourself. You're trying to be able to make yourself better. Make
Yeah.
yourself better by saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do better than what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
In this fight, I'm gonna do better than my last fight."
No
So
doubt.
you're trying to be able to keep it going, and I like that. That's what you and everyone else needs to do, because at the end of the day, we are our biggest judgments. We are our biggest critic in
No,
life. We can pretty much say, "Oh, I did terrible. I mean that armbar, I just did terrible." But at the end of the day, though, you're giving it 100%, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you did bad, if you did good. Think about the positives more than the negatives.
yeah. And that's something that I've kind of always lacked. Like I'll finish a sparring session and I'll be like, fuck, I didn't do this right. I didn't do all these things. I worked on pads this week. And, my coach Matt is always like, well, after practice, you need to find the positives of the things you did. And he'll feed me the positives, but I still reflect on the negative where I'm like, yeah, but I didn't do all this stuff that I was supposed to do. And he goes, yeah, but you did all this other stuff that you did great, that worked really well. So
Yep.
it's kind of just, yeah, I have to feed my brain all the positive things I did instead of always reflecting on the negative so much. So even like with my last fight, like obviously I didn't get the win. It's disappointing, but I did a lot of really great things in that fight. And then I did a lot of things I really needed to work on, but I can only build off of that and, go from there.
And not only that, but yet the thing is, something I noticed is that, Joe, as much as we want to drown ourselves in negative, I mean, whether for those who fight with anxiety or depression, you can't stay underwater forever. You have to be able
Right.
to get up out of that water, pull yourself out, and think about the positive side of things. I mean, look at what you're doing right now. Yes, you're 5-4, but at the end of the day, though, you're the one that's going in that cage. You're the one that's
Yeah.
improving yourself day after day, fight after fight. And I think once when people watch your last fight, you'll see how much that you've been improving since you started becoming pro.
No doubt. No doubt.
And not only that, but yet, before you went to pro, we all have to go through our amateur days, and yet you were, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you were 5-3 in your amateur.
Yep.
Do you ever just look back on your amateur days and think about how much you have overcome and how much you started?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as an amateur, I did pretty well. I wanted more amateur fights, but my coaches were like, oh, it's the time to go pro. You're kind of doing your thing. And, but that's why I also like with Ashley, like get as many fights as you can, whether that's Muay Thai or a grappling event or MMA. Like, not that I rushed. I don't think I rushed. I just didn't plan well at the big, or I didn't get as many fights as an amateur that I would have liked in the long run. But that was on me. That wasn't on anybody else or like my coaches. I just didn't know I could be as active as, some of these other, or the opportunities that I was unaware of at the time. But yeah, no, I mean, I watched my amateur fights and I did really good things. And then you go, oh God, wow, that stuff was terrible. But no, I am levels above the person that I was as an amateur, and I'm levels above the person that I was in my first pro fight or my third pro fight or my last fight. It's a constant grind, and it's a constant improvement. And some days you're going to feel great, but the day that you have to feel the best is fight day. So no matter how shitty it is in the gym, I only need to show up on fight day, show up for practice and do all the hard work. But when I show up on that day, that's all that matters.
Exactly, and yet, something I always think about is that while we start in the amateur days, we all think about so many obstacles. And during your amateur days, I'm assuming you had a lot of obstacles that's been facing right in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
What has been the biggest challenge that you had to face during your time as being an amateur?
When I was an amateur, I think again, and it's always just the mental part. I had a lot of ups and downs. I had some family deaths that, really reflected not so much on my training, but on my mental state. I think that, you forget how important life is and things like that. And, I just had to keep showing up and overcome those on my own. Again, it's all on myself. You know, you lose some fights and then you get close to submitted or you get close to this. You just got to keep showing up, and that's it. I guess amateurs, I was strived to want to be better, and I wanted to fight tough people, and I wanted to fight as much as I can. And sometimes that's just not the way it goes all the time. So I don't know.
At least you can say that you went through the amateur days, and now we're getting ready to talk about the pro days. So, what made the decision for you to become pro?
It was just kind of the time. I would have stayed, not would have, but I knew it was time for me to go pro. I wanted like 10 amateur fights. That was like my goal ultimately. But my coaches, again, they were like, after my last amateur fight, somebody came up, I can't remember who it was, came up to my coaches and said, she's the only one who looks like a professional in the room. And then I won and I did a really, really great job. And, I sat down with my coaches and, they told me that they said that and they were like, it's very true. There was lots of pros on that card, but you looked better than them. Like you have the skill and the ability to fight and to go and be a pro. And you've had, I had smokers and I did tons of grappling events and, I had 8 fights and like, that's a good amount of fights. Having 8 fights is pretty good. And I knew it was the time and I wanted to go pro and I wanted to, get paid. Not that you're getting paid a lot when you first go pro, but, I think a lot of it was me. I wanted to go pro and I thought I was excited. It was a good opportunity. And, even though I lost my pro debut, it just motivated me more. So
It gives you that energy to be able to prepare for the next fight. And yet, something I want to talk about is that you said you started Muay Thai, you said you started Jiu Jitsu and all that. Do you think that's helped you out, especially when it comes to your fighting style in the cage?
yeah, no doubt. I think everything for me it starts from the ground up. So if you have good balance and you have good footwork and you know how to use your hips, then your strikes and your punches are going to always count, or they're going to always land, or even if they're just out of range, you're not going to be off balance. So when I'm in the gym, my main focus, not main focus, but for years, like was just footwork. And I did footwork over and over and over and over and over again. And I think that it reflects a lot in my fights. Sometimes it's really positive, sometimes it's not, but I think I can feel range really, really well. And because I did so much movement as an amateur and focused so much on footwork, that it kind of really helped me once I became a pro. I can feel the range, I can feel the in and out. And again, yeah, we all have things we got to work on. Sometimes I like to go backwards and that's really not the best thing to do. But fights are fights. People make you do things you don't want to do in fights. So, I think again, ground up, I started from the ground up. I worked on my footwork for years and I think that that's a lot of things that people lack in the cage. They're really off balance. I think maybe females are pretty balanced. They have good balance, but again, the in and out, a lot of girls come forward and they don't move their head. I do a lot of head movement drills. I do a lot of like feint work. So, causing reaction. So then you can, create your own movement.
Yeah, and not only that, be you're also trying to prepare for the head movement because, like you
Yeah.
mentioned before, other fighters may not move their heads like they're supposed to,
Yeah.
but they need to though because they don't want to get knocked out. I mean, you have
Right.
to move your head. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Got to keep your head moving.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, like I said before, once when I told everyone this, you've been a part of this sport for quite some time.
Yep.
What has been the very best part that you love about it so much?
I think it's the community, like the people and friendships and things that I've gained from that, like not just in my gym. Absolutely, they're my family, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. They're legit family. Like family doesn't always have to be blood, and they are my family. But also the community. Like I cross train at Joe Lozon's gym, and Joe Lozon and his coach Steve Mays and Andy Aiello from there are also my family. Like those people I know care about me and would do stuff to help me any way they can. And it feels good to have people who are on your team but not on your team like all the time, who also genuinely care about your success and reaching the goal that you want to reach, because Joe Lozon's involved in that sport. He knows firsthand how it is, and I'm lucky for that. And I got to train in January. I went and trained with Emily Ducote. She's really great. She's the Invicta champ. So just building and being able to know people and build that community and have that community, that it doesn't always have to be at my gym. It can be in another gym, or I can go train with some other ladies. The community is the best thing. And it's really, really cool, especially as a woman. There's not tons of us. So being able to go and train with other women or go train with other people is a good opportunities.
And not only that, but you talked about, there ain't much women in women's sports. I can tell you guys this though, is that these women are incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
you see it on the page, is that pretty much this generation of women that you see, once when UFC started bringing women in, that's when you see that we're about to see the next generation of women. I mean,
Yeah.
it's more than just what you see. They go through a lot of hell, like we all go through the training, the mental aspect, the physical aspects,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. They just don't go in a cage and fight. They train, they prepare. It takes months. It takes time. It
Yeah.
takes patience. So whenever you guys do see me on the Fighting Out on Instagram, it's not just about the women. It's about how much they've done. It's how much
Yeah.
they put themselves
And the
through.
women always show up. We always want to put on a fight, or we always want to, get people to notice us, because we know that we still kind of have that job to do. Even though we don't, like, it's building and women are, you know, it's a much more popular now. It's still, we want to be noticed. We want to put on a good performance so that people go, "Oh shit, did you see those fucking girls fight?" Like it's good to see a guys fight, but that they're going to fight, but women always fight.
Exactly, exactly. And the one thing I can tell you guys is that for anyone who is wanting to get involved with this community, male, female, doesn't matter if you're a fighter or the media aspect, this community is so incredible because
It is.
one, on the fighter aspects, like she said before, you go to different gyms, you get a chance to train with different people, you get a chance to train with people who understand you, and even if you're not a fighter. Go and train with them. Go train
Yeah.
with these fighters and yet learn something from them. Because in the long run, if you're someone who fights with depression, anxiety, bipolar, whatever it may be,
Yeah,
it
it's
can help you. Go ahead.
no, it's an outlet. Like it's an outlet for people like us. It is, or people have anxiety or depression. It's an outlet. It's a good outlet and a strong outlet, because it makes you feel alive. It's a very raw sport where it's not every day everyone's going and getting punched in the face or trying to get their arm broken off, even if
Yeah,
it's like training. It's a raw sport that like 1% of people do.
exactly. And not only that, but yeah, it's like if you don't feel like you have a family at home, but yet go to the gym and they will make you feel like family. They
No
will welcome
doubt.
you with open arms.
100%. That is 100% right. If you feel like you don't have anybody and you go to a gym, those people will make you feel important, and they'll want to help you, and they'll want to, be there for you and give their time to you, because they want to see you be successful, or, just get better every day.
And not only that, but it also helps you out for anyone who has anger. They'll let you go punch a punching
Sure,
bag and just
for sure.
let all that anger build up and it just let it out by one punch. It doesn't take that much. And one thing I can tell you is like like Hilly and I have been talking about, this is a chance for you to be able to get yourself better, and especially as a person. sees things differently from the fighter side, but also sees things from your side now.
Yeah, right, right.
Absolutely. And something that I really want to talk about is that, Joe, everyone sees you as a fighter, but not much of the person that you are today. So what is the one thing you want people to know, not only as you as a fighter, but you as the person who's been working so hard ever since you started this journey?
I'm just like, I just consider myself like a nice person. I think that that's like my best, biggest, best flaw. Like I'm super nice, and I think I give a lot, and I want to see people succeed, whether, and I just want to be kind. Like I think for a really long time I was kind of this angry person. I wasn't like angry, but I was angry, and I've kind of redeveloped my mind to think a little bit differently, and I've kind of gotten like soft, not soft, but nice. Like anytime I see people or like I talk to people, they'll often be like, I don't know many people who don't like you. Like you're very nice, and you always go out of your way to help people, and you always have good manners. And like I think that a lot of that is from being a martial artist, and having martial arts in my life, and I want to be recognized as not just a fighter but as a martial artist, and look out for the good in everybody and as well as myself. And I think for a long time I was kind of like a huge bitch, and I'm just I'm not really anymore. I just want to be nice, and I want to gain something from people and give, and not gain like in a good way, but like gain knowledge. And you know I think that's really it. I don't really have like, I'm just a nice person, and I just want people to also think that, like, that I'm a nice person, and you know, but I'm also mean. I'll fuck you up.
It's like I'm a bad bitch. Don't fuck with me. I'll fuck with you. It's like that's something I always love because like whenever I first met you, it's like I immediately say like I come in peace. I come in peace. Do you mind if I give you a shout out? And
Yeah.
it's like of course, and I'm
Yeah.
like okay,
I
but the
called you a
one
queen the other day.
yeah. So you call me a queen, but I don't know what that was. I was like okay, I'm a queen. I'll take it. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
I'm a queen. Good.
Where's my tiara at when you need one?
I don't think one would fit on my head.
I have like a pineapple orange size head, so I don't think no one could be able to fit me. So it's pretty difficult. But yeah, if you find one, please let me know in the
I'll
DMs.
let you. Sure.
Oh man, but yeah, she pretty much you're sweeter than sweet honey. So yeah, that's always an awesome characteristic. Characteristic. I keep stuttering. I don't know why,
All
but you
right.
get what I'm saying.
I
I
know
keep
what you're
saying.
saying.
Oh man, we're definitely having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this interview with us, man. It's definitely been incredible. So yeah, Joe, not only do you want people to get involved, but what is the biggest thing you want people, as far as the younger generation side, know when it comes to stepping inside the gym?
If you're intimidated and you go to a gym, uh spend at least 2 months there. Like, don't go for a week or 2 weeks. I think that a lot of people want to try something new, and then they don't know that, or they feel like they can't be successful at it very quickly. Like, doing jujitsu and learning how to like kickbox and Muay Thai, it takes more than a month. It takes more than 6 months. But the thing is, once you start to like get a feel and you start to feel a little more comfortable, like you are more motivated and it's better. I think a lot of people come in and they feel like they're getting beat up really fast, or that they're not learning quickly. So then they give up and they quit. But it's the time. Like, the more you come, the better you'll get, just like anything, just like football or soccer. The more times you kick the ball, the better you're going to get. But I think that that's what happens. Like, when people want to try something new or they want to come into a gym, they're intimidated. Is the biggest thing about going into an MMA gym is just stepping in the door. My coach always said this to me. I work at the gym that I train at, and he always said, the biggest intimidation thing for them is actually just walking in the door the first day. Like, coming into an MMA gym, they have no idea what to expect or what the atmosphere is going to be like, and a lot of people just think they're going to get like fucked up like on the first day, and that's just not how it goes. But again, I think it's people will stay for like 2 weeks, and then they don't feel like they're really learning really quick, or that they're stuck, so then they don't come back. And I think just stick to it. Don't give up quick. Keep coming, because you'll love it and you'll be obsessed.
And not only that, but like she said before, take some time being in the gym, and yeah, you'll get just as far. If you get like a black eye or a bruise, that is your battle scar. That is your
Sure.
battle scar that you're not afraid to show every single day. And then once when people look at you at a grocery store, people will be like, "Oh my gosh, you just get into a fight." It's like, no, it's just sparring. It's just sparring.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the last time we got a chance to see you was your last fight back in February. Is there any plans on your next fight?
Yes, so I don't think I'm allowed to say who I'm fighting, so I won't. But I signed a contract for LFA 130 for April 22nd. So just about a month I'll be back in the cage. So I'm really looking forward to it. So it'll be fun. I have a really great opponent. I think it's going to be a really, really fun matchup, and I think a lot of people will be excited for the fight. I'm excited for the fight. I know I'm fighting, a game chick, so that's kind of what I want, and I just want to stay as active as I can this year. The more fights, the better I am. So yeah.
Well, hey, make sure you guys get a chance to follow her for that announcement at Hilarie Rose MMA. She'll keep you up to date as far as her next fight, and of course, she'll have the fighting poster, I believe. So make sure you guys check that out and get a chance to check out all the other things that she's been doing, like we talked about before, with her helping Ashley, her helping her other teammates out. It's very incredible. It's all on her Instagram page at Hilarie Rose MMA. Is there any other social media page that people can follow you on?
You can follow me on Facebook. I am at Hilarie Rose. I don't really have anything else. I'm on TikTok, but I don't use it a lot. So sorry if you follow me and I suck.
I'll be sure to tag you on TikTok. It'll be Nerdy Jake 520. So I usually post my latest updates and interviews and all that. So I'll be sure to tag you on there on TikTok as well.
Okay, I'll be there.
Well, before we get a chance to hop off here, I want to get a chance to tell you, first of all, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this interview. It's been so incredible. I was so excited whenever we got a chance to talk. I'm like, okay, this interview's happened. I was telling my friends, this interview's going to happen, y'all.
Yeah, glad it worked out, for sure. Talk
Exactly. And I just want to tell you, I am so proud of you with everything that you've overcome, everything that you've been doing. You are a tremendous fighter. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep shining your light on others, because you're making an impact on everyone who's not only, either in or outside of the fighting world, but you're also making an impact on those who's fighting depression, anxiety, because just like you are a warrior. Keep that in mind every single day, because these fighters give us a reason to keep going. If it's through the mental aspects, the training aspects, whatever it may be, we can all learn something from incredible fighters such as Hilarie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm so glad we got to talk today.
I'm so glad. Is there any final comments you want to say before we hop off the air?
Let's see, just quick shout out to my teammates, my coaches, my strength and conditioning coach Mike Perry, Tom, Matt, all my teammates, all those people. I love all of you, and I'm so grateful.
Well, we are very grateful for you, and we're definitely proud of you. Once again, be sure to follow her at Hilarie Rose MMA on Instagram. Hilarie, I will do this because I do this to all those who I interviewed. I am not worthy right now. I'm not worthy. I will literally have to get MMA tees to make a t-shirt that says I'm not worthy so since I've been doing that a lot.
You got to write that down, and you got to do that.
I will message Letitia and see if I can be able to have that happen.
Yeah, good.
But I will let you go. I hope you have an incredible day. I will send you the link once I get done here, okay?
Thanks. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Later.
Bye.
That was Miss Hilarie Rose. That was so fun. It was such an honor to get a chance to have her on. So incredible. Such an amazing fighter. Talk about so much, learning about so much from the amazing fighter that she is. It was an honor to get a chance to have her to join me. Guys, we are pretty much done with the interview. Real quick, I didn't get a chance to do this before I started. Pretty much, I was so excited to get a chance to have Hilarie on. I do want to send a shout out to Mom's Favorite MMA, Fight Bananas Officials, Liz with the Z Podcast, and of course, great friends at Air Media Productions. We have so much more in store for you guys. We got 3 interviews down, 2 more to go, and then we're going to be having some more interviews coming up next week. But hey, until then, y'all, make sure you guys follow me at The Fighting Now on Instagram, and make sure to keep up to date as far as all things interviews. Until then, y'all, make sure to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any interviews that we have in store. We have an interview for y'all coming up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and of course another interview coming up this coming Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So once again, I am Jake. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys later.